Have you ever been told that if you have diabetes, you should stop eating fruit? That fruit is too sweet, too risky, too full of sugar? That the only safe option is to avoid it completely? Well, what if that's not true? What if the right fruits, chosen carefully, eaten smartly, could actually help you lower your blood sugar, reduce insulin resistance, and even reverse type 2 diabetes symptoms? In this video, you're going to discover the top 8 best fruits for diabetics, fruits that are naturally low in sugar, high in fiber, rich in antioxidants, and backed by science to help stabilize glucose levels. Not only will we show you the best ones to eat, but we'll also reveal the worst fruits you must avoid, even if they look healthy. And if you stay until the end, you'll find out about a specific fruit that's been studied for its anti-diabetic effects and used in some countries to lower A1C naturally, without medication. Let's start with a reality check. Most diabetics are terrified of fruit. They hear words like fructose or natural sugar and instantly picture blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, and long-term complications. But here's the truth. Not all fruits are created equal. Some are basically nature's candy, loaded with fast carbs and little fiber. Others are powerful allies in your fight against diabetes. So let's break the fear. Let's rebuild your relationship with food. And let's start with one of the most powerful fruits for diabetics: blueberries. Blueberries are more than just low glycemic. They're packed with anthocyanins, a group of antioxidants that have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce post-meal glucose spikes. One clinical study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that daily blueberry consumption improved insulin resistance in obese, insulin-resistant participants within just 6 weeks. But that's not all. Blueberries are also rich in soluble fiber, which slows down carbohydrate absorption and keeps blood sugar levels more stable throughout the day. They taste sweet, but they work hard to protect you from what you fear most: uncontrolled blood sugar. Now let's move to something even more underrated: avocados. Yes, it's a fruit, and it's a diabetic's best friend. Avocados contain almost zero sugar, very few carbohydrates, and a high amount of monounsaturated fats, which help regulate insulin and improve cholesterol at the same time. They also contain oleic acid, which helps reduce inflammation, a major factor in metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. And because avocados are rich and filling, they help curb cravings for high-carb snacks. So if you've been struggling with sugar addiction or constant hunger, this fruit can be a game changer. Next up, we have something tropical that you've probably heard is off limits, but it isn't: kiwi. Most people assume kiwi is too sugary for diabetics, but here's the truth. Kiwis have a glycemic index of just 50, lower than bananas, mangoes, or even grapes. They're also incredibly rich in vitamin C, potassium, and soluble fiber, which help with insulin function and gut health. And there's more. Kiwis contain an enzyme called actinidin, which helps break down proteins and aid digestion, something many diabetics struggle with due to slow gastric emptying. If you've ever felt bloated, sluggish, or overly full after eating, kiwi might help more than you think. And they only have about 10 grams of carbs per fruit. Let's keep going. Because now we get to a classic that's been misunderstood: apples. People worry about apples because of their sugar content, but apples are actually one of the best fruits for blood sugar control, if you eat them whole and with the skin. Why? Because apple skin contains pectin, a form of fiber that slows glucose absorption and feeds the good bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut microbiome is essential for metabolic regulation, insulin balance, and even hunger signals. Plus, apples are rich in polyphenols, which reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 hidden drivers of diabetes complications. Just stay away from apple juice or dried apples. The fiber is gone, the sugar is concentrated, and the effect on your blood sugar is very different. We're only halfway through the list, but let's pause for a moment. Let's talk about what matters most. If you're living with type 2 diabetes, it's not just about avoiding sugar. It's about regaining control, regaining energy, reducing symptoms, lowering A1C, feeling alive again. And food can be your weapon or your enemy. That's why choosing the right fruits isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Now let's get into another fruit that feels indulgent, but is surprisingly powerful for diabetics: strawberries. Strawberries have a glycemic index of just 41, and they're incredibly low in carbs per serving. But their real magic comes from their antioxidant profile. Studies show that strawberries can reduce postprandial inflammation, the dangerous kind that occurs after high-carb meals. They also help protect the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, which is often damaged by chronic hyperglycemia. And here's the bonus: strawberries have a satiety effect, meaning they help you feel full longer and reduce overall calorie intake without feeling restricted. Just make sure you eat them fresh, not in syrup, jam, or frozen with added sugar. Let's move on to one of the most powerful fruits for diabetics, and yet one of the most underrated: cherries. Cherries are rich in anthocyanins, the same compounds found in blueberries, which are known to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar spikes after meals. But that's not all. Cherries are also natural anti-inflammatory agents, helping to lower the chronic inflammation that worsens type 2 diabetes and damages blood vessels. In one study, people who consumed cherries regularly showed lower levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of inflammation linked to cardiovascular disease and insulin resistance. Now, here's the key: always choose fresh or frozen cherries, not canned or dried, which are often loaded with added sugars. A small handful of real cherries can satisfy your sweet tooth without the glucose spike. Now let's talk about a fruit that's actually been studied for its blood sugar lowering effects: grapefruit. Grapefruit has a very low glycemic index, about 25 to 30, meaning it causes only a gentle rise in blood sugar. It's also packed with naringenin, a powerful antioxidant that's been shown to improve glucose metabolism and help the liver process excess sugar more efficiently. In fact, some researchers have compared the metabolic effects of grapefruit to certain diabetes medications. But there's a warning: if you're on medication, especially statins or blood pressure meds, grapefruit can interfere with how those drugs are metabolized. Always talk to your doctor. If you're cleared to eat it, grapefruit can be a low-sugar, high-benefit addition to your diabetic diet. Let's continue with another fruit that might surprise you: pears. Pears have a low glycemic index, around 38, and they're rich in soluble fiber, especially when you eat them with the skin. They're also one of the most satisfying fruits per calorie, making them excellent for appetite control and weight management. But the real benefit for diabetics? Pears contain compounds called flavonols, which have been linked to improved pancreatic function and better insulin production. And they're gentle on digestion, which is important for many older adults with type 2 diabetes. Now that we've covered 7 amazing fruits diabetics can safely enjoy, it's time for a brief warning. Because not all fruits are friendly. Some are disguised as healthy, but can cause sharp spikes in blood sugar and worsen insulin resistance, especially if eaten in large quantities or without fiber. Let's expose them. Worst fruit number 1, bananas. Yes, they're natural. Yes, they have potassium. But bananas are high in sugar, low in fiber, and have a glycemic index between 60 and 70, depending on ripeness. The riper the banana, the higher the sugar content. Eating just one medium banana can cause a rapid glucose spike, especially if you're insulin resistant. If you really love bananas, go for unripe or green bananas, which have more resistant starch and less sugar, and always pair them with protein or fat. But as a general rule, bananas are not ideal for most diabetics. Worst fruit number 2, grapes. They seem innocent, they're small, they're juicy. But grapes are high in glucose, low in fiber, and extremely easy to overeat. Just 1 cup of grapes can contain over 20 grams of sugar, and almost no fat or protein to slow absorption. Their glycemic load is high, and they can cause blood sugar to rise quickly. Worse, because grapes are small, people often eat multiple servings without realizing it. If you crave something similar, opt for blueberries instead. Worst fruit, number 3. Pineapple. Tropical. Delicious. Dangerous. Pineapple has a glycemic index of around 66, and it's packed with simple sugars that digest quickly. Even a small portion can spike blood sugar, especially if eaten alone. Yes, it has vitamin C. Yes, it contains bromelain, a helpful enzyme. But the downsides for diabetics usually outweigh the benefits, unless it's consumed in moderation and with fat or fiber. Now back to fruits you can enjoy safely, because the final fruit on our list is not only safe, but might be the most powerful of all. Final fruit, guava. Guava is low in sugar. It's rich in vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants, and it has been used in traditional medicine for blood sugar management. But here's the real magic. Guava contains quercetin, a plant compound shown to slow the breakdown of carbohydrates, reduce sugar absorption, and lower fasting glucose. Studies in diabetic animals, and some human trials, show that guava can help reduce HbA1c levels over time. It's also gentle on the gut, making it ideal for older diabetics with digestive issues. Just make sure to eat it raw, not as guava paste or sweetened juice. If you can find fresh guava in your local market, don't pass it up. It's one of nature's most potent tools for natural blood sugar control. So let's recap where we are. You now know the top 8 best fruits for diabetics: blueberries, avocados, kiwi, apples, strawberries, cherries, grapefruit, pears, and the 3 worst fruits you should watch out for: bananas, grapes, pineapple. But this isn't just about a shopping list. This is about reclaiming your health, one fruit at a time. Food doesn't have to be your enemy. You don't need to fear sweetness when it's combined with fiber, nutrients, and balance. In the next block, we'll explain how to eat fruit properly as a diabetic, including smart combinations, timing tricks, and the one mistake most people make that ruins even the healthiest fruit. Now that you know which fruits are best and which ones to avoid, let's talk about how to actually eat fruit if you have type 2 diabetes. Because the truth is, it's not just about what you eat, but how and when you eat it. Even the healthiest fruit can raise your blood sugar if you eat it the wrong way. Let's fix that. The first and most important rule is, never eat fruit alone. That means no grabbing a banana or apple and eating it on an empty stomach. Why? Because when you eat fruit by itself, especially in the morning, your blood sugar can spike rapidly and drop quickly afterward, leaving you feeling tired, shaky, and craving more sugar. Instead, always pair fruit with one of the following: healthy fats like nuts, seeds, avocado, or nut butter; lean protein like Greek yogurt, eggs, or cottage cheese; fiber like oats, chia, or flaxseed. These help slow down digestion, lower the glycemic impact of the fruit, and keep your blood sugar stable for longer. For example, instead of just eating strawberries, combine them with chia seeds and plain yogurt. Instead of just eating an apple, slice it and dip it in almond butter. It's a simple shift, but it can dramatically reduce sugar spikes. Now let's talk about timing. Many diabetics eat fruit at the wrong time of day. The best time to eat fruit is after a meal, especially one that contains protein and fat. That's when your digestive system is already working, insulin is circulating, and glucose absorption will be slower. The worst time? First thing in the morning, or right before bed, especially if you're insulin resistant or prone to high fasting glucose. You also want to avoid drinking fruit juice, even if it's 100% natural. Juice strips away the fiber, concentrates the sugar, and causes immediate spikes in blood glucose. Even half a glass of orange juice can contain more sugar than a full orange. Choose whole fruits only. Let's talk about portion size. Even low-sugar fruits can become a problem if eaten in excess. Here's a quick guide for diabetic-friendly fruit portions. 1 cup of blueberries, 1 small apple, 1 kiwi, 1 grapefruit, 1 small pear, 1 cup of strawberries, 1 guava. These portions are generally considered safe for most people with diabetes, especially when combined with other foods. If you're unsure how your body reacts, check your blood sugar 90 minutes after eating. This will tell you if a certain fruit or portion is working for you or not. Let's now address a common myth. Frozen fruit is bad. That's false. In fact, frozen fruits, especially berries, cherries, and guava, can be just as healthy as fresh ones. They're often picked at peak ripeness and frozen immediately, preserving their nutrients. What you do need to avoid are sweetened frozen fruits, canned fruits in syrup, and dried fruits like raisins, dates, or cranberries with added sugar. Those can contain over 60 grams of sugar per cup, making them dangerous for diabetics. If it's dried or processed, read the label. Every time. Let's now move to a psychological trap. A lot of people with type 2 diabetes have been told for years to fear sugar so much that they stop eating fruit altogether. They become afraid of natural sweetness. But this fear can backfire. It leads to nutrient deficiencies, increased cravings, and ultimately, binge eating processed sweets later. Fruit, when chosen and eaten correctly, can actually help you resist those unhealthy cravings. Here's why. Fruits like berries, cherries, and apples contain polyphenols and flavonoids that improve your mood, reduce inflammation, and regulate hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin. They're also rich in magnesium and vitamin C, which are commonly deficient in diabetics. So instead of fearing fruit, use it strategically. Let's now talk about one of the most powerful tricks to reduce the blood sugar impact of fruit. It's called the vinegar trick. When you take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before eating fruit, it can help lower the glycemic response by up to 30%. Vinegar slows the digestion of carbohydrates, improves insulin sensitivity, and reduces post-meal blood sugar. Just be sure to drink it through a straw and rinse your mouth after, to protect your teeth. Another simple trick? Go for a short walk after eating fruit. Just 10-15 minutes of light walking after a meal can lower post-meal glucose by up to 50%. That's better than many medications. So if you enjoy a bowl of strawberries or some sliced apple, go for a walk around your block right after. Simple, free, powerful. Now let's address one final mistake. Many diabetics eat fruit without tracking how it affects them. But every person is different. Some people can eat half a banana and stay stable. Others will see their glucose jump from 100 to 180 in 20 minutes. If you don't measure, you'll never know. That's why keeping a food and glucose journal is one of the smartest habits you can build. Write down the fruit you ate, what you ate it with, when you ate it, your blood sugar before and after. After just 1 week, you'll have your own personal diabetic fruit blueprint. This is how you gain control. This is how you stop guessing and start living with confidence. And if you're still unsure which fruits are best for your specific body, don't worry. In the next and final block, you'll discover a little-known fruit used in Asia to reduce A1C and reverse prediabetes, along with a short daily plan to start seeing results this week. If you've made it this far, it means you're serious about taking control of your blood sugar and your health. So let's deliver on the promise I made at the beginning. There's one fruit that most people in the West never eat, but it's been used for centuries in parts of Asia to manage blood sugar, lower A1C, and even reverse prediabetes. It's called bitter melon. Technically, it's a fruit, though most people treat it like a vegetable. And while it doesn't taste sweet, its effects on blood sugar are incredibly powerful. Studies have shown that compounds in bitter melon mimic insulin, helping cells absorb glucose more efficiently. In fact, some research suggests bitter melon may reduce fasting blood sugar by 15 to 25% in people with type 2 diabetes. It also helps reduce insulin resistance and improves beta cell function in the pancreas. In countries like India, China, and the Philippines, bitter melon is often used as a natural remedy for blood sugar control. It's consumed as a stir-fry, a tea, or even as juice, although the taste can be intense. If you're ready to try it, start with a small amount, maybe half a cup of cooked bitter melon once or twice a week. and track your blood sugar before and after. It may not be the most delicious fruit, but it might be the most effective. Now let's wrap all this up into a simple plan you can follow starting this week. No guesswork. Just 5 steps to help you eat fruit safely and lower your blood sugar naturally. Step 1. Choose your fruit from the top 8 we covered. Stick with berries, kiwi, grapefruit, apples, pears, oranges, guava, and cherries. Step 2. Pair it with protein, fiber, or fat. Think yogurt, chia seeds, almond butter, or a boiled egg. Step 3. Eat it after meals, not on an empty stomach or right before bed. Step 4. Try the vinegar trick. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water before fruit, or go for a walk after eating. Step 5. Track your blood sugar and write it down. Build your own blueprint. Know what works for your body. That's it. Simple changes. Big results. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds good, but I've tried everything. You've tried cutting carbs, you've tried medications, you've tried going sugar-free, and nothing seems to work. But the truth is, most people are missing the root cause. Blood sugar problems aren't just about avoiding sweets. They're about rebuilding your metabolic flexibility. They're about retraining your body to respond to insulin the way it used to. And that starts with small, daily choices, like choosing the right fruit, like eating it the right way, like moving your body for 10 minutes after meals, like tracking what happens inside you. This is the path that thousands of people are taking right now. And if they're seeing real results, so can you. Because you're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not destined to suffer with diabetes forever. You just need the right tools and the right guidance. If you found this video helpful, stick around, because this is just the beginning. In future videos, we'll cover the best teas to lower fasting glucose, the secret to balancing cortisol and insulin, and how to eat breakfast like a diabetic without raising blood sugar. And if you're ready to take a deeper step, there's a powerful guide waiting for you in the description below. Thousands are already using it to stabilize their blood sugar naturally, without medications, strict diets, or guessing. Go check it out now. It might be exactly what you've been looking for. If this video gave you even one idea that you can use today, then I want you to do something simple. Click that like button, not for me, but for you. Because it means you're serious about changing your story. And if you're ready to go further, there's something waiting for you right now. In the description below, you'll find a guide that thousands of people are already using to lower their blood sugar naturally. It's not another fad. It's not a magic pill. It's a roadmap based on real science, designed for people just like you. People who are tired of guessing, tired of being afraid of food, tired of feeling like nothing works. If that's you, go check it out. And before you go, leave a comment below. Tell me which fruit you're going to try this week, or what your biggest challenge with diabetes has been. I read every comment, and your story might help someone else too. Finally, hit that subscribe button. Because we're just getting started, and the next video might be the one that changes everything for you. So don't miss it. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.